5 facts in 5 minutes about the porcelain mushroom. Let's get into it. Fact 1 about the porcelain mushroom, it's all about its name. It's really glazy. It's known as the porcelain mushroom, and it's literally like glazed porcelain. You'll see it in October, September and October sort of time, and it's a really cool mushroom. It's got a real shimmering finish. Fact number 2 about this mushroom is despite its poisonous looks and its slimy appearance, it is actually edible. It's a really tasty edible as well, but you do need to wipe all that slime off and get rid of the stipes as well, because they can be a bit hard and tough and chewy. But it is a good edible, good autumn edible. So fact 3 about this mushroom, as I say, it is quite slimy. It actually secretes this little bit of mucus on the top layer of the cap, and it can be quite, unpleasant to touch. So when you're foraging, obviously just grab it by the stem, cut it if you must, and it's one of the only items that we actually say to wash, because normally you don't want to wash it because you can encounter some excess moisture, lose some of that flavour, and it's best always to brush your mushrooms, really, especially things like boletes. But with this mushroom, because it's got that gelatinous sort of waxy sort of cap on top that's mucusy and slimy, you want to wash that very carefully before eating. So fact 4 about this mushroom is all about habitat and where you can find it. So again, distribution normally sort of September, October time, early autumn, and it grows all over the place, all over deciduous trees, hardwoods, that kind of thing. It does tend to favour beech and dead or dying stumps. So if you see a fallen beech tree, or you see an old stump that's dead and been monolithed in the past, then these are ideal sort of growing habitats for the fruiting body. I'll show some really nice interlude photos now of how pretty they can be. They're really cool mushrooms, and again, with identification, they are white all over, white gills, white stipe, white skirt and a white cap, but the cap is really slimy. This footage here was obviously shot in the rain, but you can actually tell even without the rain it's really glistening, gelatinous and shiny. It will catch your eye from a mile off. Final 5th fact about this mushroom, the porcelain fungus, it's quite a safe edible. So again, it's quite good for novice foragers. It's quite easy to identify. Its only real lookalikes are edible anyway. You'll be easily mistaken if you confuse it for an oyster mushroom, because it's very similar to the grey oyster, but again, those are edible. So unless you were thinking it's an oysterling, I think you're pretty much okay. But again, oysterlings are quite small in comparison. These guys tend to be sort of between 7 and 10 centimeters at full maturity, so they're a really good, easy identification mushroom. And like I say, you can't go wrong. They're similar to the grey oyster, but they've actually got a stipe and a skirt. And a little bonus sort of fun fact is, regardless of where they grow out of the side of the tree or the side of the stump, the cap will always be facing up towards the sky. So you'll see that some of the stipes, the stems, can actually be quite curved in their nature to point towards the light. So that's it. That wraps up your 5 facts for the porcelain mushroom. Right, that ends the video, guys. If you have liked it at any point, give it a little like below. It really does help to support the channel. If you are new to the channel and like this kind of content, then please consider subscribing down below. Check out the back catalogue of Fungi Facts as well. There's loads of decent videos in that playlist, so go and check it out. And without further ado, I'll see you again in the next one.
Yo. Entering the planet, we were born in 1990. Censoring the damage through the years quite precisely. Peppering the cabbage every day with new rhyme schemes. Venturing the stranger, then entirely unlikely.